I want to say something before we are going to start, as we are going to watch this video by Only Waifu, which is called Stop Defending This Behavior, yeah? First things first, I don't want to see personal attacks on the other content creator. People have different perspectives on different things, and it's fine to disagree. So please, for fucking once, I know it's hard for someone that is in Souls community, fucking behave. Let's roll with it.
Using cheats is not okay, Tarnished. Okay. I know this video is a bit out of nowhere, but I just want to talk about a little topic that we saw a couple of days ago in the channel of our beloved albinoric master Steelovsky. You see, my little peachy muffins, Steelovsky uploaded a video covering another video that was uploaded to Reddit by the user, Small Peepee Master, where he showcases a match against a walking sack of potato gravy wielding a serpent hunter. For the
Sack of potato gravy is pretty good one, not gonna lie. One of insults of all time.
Those of you who don't know, the Serpent Hunter, aside from being the gimmick weapon against my bro, is a very good strength weapon with a very strong crouch poke attack, an attack that has hyper armor at frame 7. But that is not the problem here. The actual problem was this.
I know people are pissed at me, or used to be pissed at me, when I was laughing at the shitpot for the first time, but dude, I cannot help it. It's so absurd to chainsaw someone and then drop the shitpot at them. Like, such ultimate disrespect over the freaking pointless duel on the arena. The absurdity of the situation is too funny.
For those of you who don't know, this is a massively broken glitch called Chainsaw. We made a video covering it before, but it's basically a glitch where you turn the Serpent Hunter into a very long killing machine. If you get caught by it, it's a game over. And as you can see, it's very easy for that to happen. Needless to say that performing the chainsaw is literally cheating.
Oh, the old
However,
version.
Some people are trying to justify that behavior. And what's the argument they're offering? The Hand of Millennia guy had latency and was light rolling.
What?
There is literally so much wrong with that statement. Let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Yes, we can tell by watching the video that there is latency between both players. Latency is the result of distance between players. The information from one player to another has travel time, which basically results in what you're seeing in the video, delayed hits. But let me repeat that. There is latency between both players. So Serpent Hunter Toad Fart was experiencing the same lag or latency that the Hand of Millennia guy was experiencing.
Okay, so I know that Waifu just simply says that because they don't know it. Most likely, I assume. But it's not always the case. Whereas latency between players is always going to be the same, the quality of the connection is not going to be. And this guy that we see currently on the screen is actually sending such a huge BM to anyone that they are playing against because of what device they are playing on. But hey, I'm gonna show it to you in a moment. Let's continue with the video.
The latency argument immediately falls apart when one of the players simply accepts the situation and plays, while the other ends up cheating and throwing a tantrum. My guy here got punished merely by existing, and like...
No. So, here's the thing. Let's get it straight. I personally would never body someone with the chainsaw because they are latent. I rarely but still use the chainsaw in the moments when I cannot reach my opponent. Because, well, usually it is, for example, them glitching. I kind of, out of my own pettiness, if someone is abusing this type of exploit, I'm pulling off the chainsaw and... well, it's my way to tell them, fuck you. You exploit against me, you are gonna get fucked with essentially another exploit. GG. In case of this fellow friend that we have here, this is something I didn't pay attention to the first time I have seen the video of the guy that got chainsawed on the arena. You know what is this menu on the right side? It's a Steam Deck. Gamer was playing on the unstable FPS below 30 on Steam Deck. Well, because it's Steam Deck. And Steam Deck also doesn't have Ethernet port or anything like that, yeah? It just has Wi-Fi. And not the best Wi-Fi card on top of that. So you ending up in situation that if you are connecting to the multiplayer session with something like that, he is guaranteed to have shit tons of packet losses. And that thing that Waifu said over there about, hey, the latency is both-sided. Latency is indeed both-sided, but the quality of your connection might differ. And because of that, the experience for one player is going to be different to the another. What we are seeing here on the screen, yeah, like when we are actually looking at this footage, the guy that chainsawed, it's Alter essentially looking normal, yeah? It's just looking like a normal latency, but according to what Alter says, the guy was skipping like shit. And hey, no surprise, the gamer is literally playing on the Steam Deck.
The players simply accept the situation and plays, while the other ends up cheating and throwing a tantrum. My guy here got punished merely by existing. And light roll, while strong, it's still a legitimate part of the game, and it's not an exploit. Steelovsky talked about this, and while he didn't seem to legitimate part of the game, and it's not an exploit.
So that's yet again question of what you consider as okay or not. Bloodhound Step in the versions 1.2 and 1.5 was legitimate part of the game put in there by creators of the game. Was it okay? Are we gonna be doing this like, okay, like it's fine to use something that is utterly broken, number one, but we are using something that is utterly broken, number two, and the only difference is that one is exploit and the other one is not? BHS doesn't one-shot you? Yeah, that's a thing, Waifu. It doesn't one-shot you. You are actually, that's what I was talking about a moment ago, that people distinguish it. Apparently you do that too, in the way that, oh, the glitch is not that bad because it doesn't do damage. And this is short-sighted, Aimo. I take glitches like Chainsaw any day than freaking BHS on patch 1.2 to 1.5. It's different level of bad. Well, I think the original BHS was fucking billion times worse than the Chainsaw glitch. I prefer to meet a chainsawer rather than someone with the original BHS. Absolutely, anytime. And I also would probably prefer to meet a chainsawer rather than 200 MS light roller. Not gonna lie. Alright, let's continue.
Steelovsky talked about this, and while he didn't seem to approve of the cheating, or at least we want to believe that he didn't, he tried to explain why it happened, which sounds like justifying it. That may have not been his intention, but it does sound like that.
Well, a lot of people share such opinion. I think it's worth to understand that this latency that you see here, just check out what's going on and how, like, what is the delay on the head. This latency is literally unplayable. Light rolling on top of everything. So whereas, of course, you can consider glitching as something very bad, I am not here to talk morals about like if the guy is supposed to freaking use the chainsaw or not or whatsoever. Point being, the game in the first place never supposed to connect these two players to each other because this is unplayable, lad.
Let me say that while that latency was quite high, it didn't seem unplayable to me. This is unplayable.
Yeah, this is probably what Alter saw, by the way.
And even in the
Alter is in the chat. Alter, was that bad? Like, but similar? Like, what was your opinion? Because that's what you saw. But it was that bad? It was less bad? Like, you know, just be honest here, yeah? Similar? Okay. So if you're going to take the word of Alter for that, I would be so fucking pissed to see something like this. Like, I would be so fucking mad. And this is what I was talking about before, about playing on something like Steam Deck.
And even in those conditions, you can find a workaround without resorting to cheating.
I agree, and that's what I was pointing in the video. What happened is just Chainsawer in the original video went full ape mode and decided to chainsaw instead of, yeah, do it normally, yeah? That being said, I understand frustration. I wouldn't chainsaw, I would be frustrated as shit. Different people react differently to what frustrates them and what they do about that frustration. This
Insane.
guy that chainsawed is like billions times better player than the guy that is spamming Malenia here at the beginning of the fight. Normally, if the latency would be good, the player with the Shanter would destroy this guy, and some people are just like, okay, I'm done with this, so I'm gonna chainsaw.
Let me fill you in with a secret, my little cookie dough cuties. If an enemy has latency, there are ways to deal with it without resorting to exploits.
Jesus Christ, money.
If an enemy has latency, there are ways to deal with it without resorting to exploits. Status effects such as rot, madness, sleep, poison, they're all very good to apply pressure against an enemy that has high latency.
Agreed. Counter argument, light roll. Sadly, light roll is allowing you to avoid the status effects quite effectively. In case of mid-roll, that's not the problem. In case of light roll, it is. Counter-argument, Pikes doesn't have innate bleed. HTS doesn't have innate bleed. If you don't have innate status effect on your weapon, it is very inefficient unless you're on arcane build to apply status effect against light rollers. And overall, if the latency is high enough, yeah? I would absolutely agree with that, what you said here in the video, if light roll didn't exist. Light roll is really fucking breaking stuff up.
Since roll catching is not an option in high latency, the status effects will apply on top of their rolls and you will be able to take advantage of it. Your enemy can do the same to you, and you need to know how to deal with it. In this particular case, since Malenia Guy has light armor, Serpent Hunter Guy could have just traded hits and won super easily, or bait.
Okay, so this is actually something that I want to explain about Serpent Hunter. You are not trading hits with Serpent Hunter in the way that you could effectively abuse the hyper armor. Let me actually show you. The thing about Serpent Hunter is that this particular weapon, especially on the higher latency, doesn't really excel at continuous Vortex, because Vortex is less and less effective the more latency you have between each other. If we would be talking about greatswords, for example, yeah, then absolutely, greatswords are absolutely fantastic when it comes to abusing the hyper armor. But when it comes to things like Shanter, it's more about keeping the pressure with the roll catch ability, yeah? You can effectively roll catch, and this is what this weapon actually excels at. It is not super easy to trade with the Shanter against someone that has 300 MS. Because you have to predict so far ahead that when they are coming into your hitbox, they can already fucking roll out. You are not going to use this tool as the reaction stick. On the low latency, absolutely. On the high ping, no. You have to anticipate too much.
To waterfowl dance and punish accordingly, which can be done, regardless of latency. At this point in the game's lifespan, part of the skill set you need is knowing how to deal with latency. If the Serpent Hunter Guy is truly a great player like Steelovsky says, then he knows this. So we have two options.
Hey, listen. I said as a hyperbole that the other player is 1,000 times or like billions times better than the player that we see on the screen, but it is not like a huge achievement, my dude.
Serpent Hunter Guy is not a good player, or he deliberately chose to use an exploit against a newbie for the fun of it and steal.
I mean, like, it's you called the gamer like newbie on your own, yeah. So yeah, he's a newbie. He's just arena light roller. Jumping in there, spacing with the roll without a single thought in his mind, and clicking that Alt2 for the funny spin on the Malenia blade. As simple as that.
Latency can be dealt with because he uses status effects to deal with it all the time, light roll or not. So we got a supposed great player legitimately. Actually,
that's not exactly true. Against light roll, depending on the latency, but in vast majority of the cases, I actually do not use Anspur Rapier because it is just pointless. Unless, I get them into the corner, then what you want to do is just, you want to swap to the dual spears and run them down in hope that they are going to stop rolling.
So we got a supposed great player legitimately losing a match against a newbie and decided to cheat to avoid a meaningless defeat. Basement dweller behavior, if you ask me.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
Main problem is it's the game's fault that it allows those types of match, but everyone who plays PvP knows that they can use double spear, Anspur, BHS, ATC. Any of these options were better and best of all without cheating. Whereas I more or less get what this guy wants to say, just use in-game mechanics instead of working them around with the chainsaw. Dude, chainsaw is not easy thing to do, like at all.
Steel, bro. While it is true that the chainsaw is not easy to perform, it is most likely that everyone just uses the macro. There's a macro for the chainsaw where you can perform the whole glitch by the press of a button. Do you really?
Okay, that's something I really dislike, by the way. I look at macros as cheating. As people actually argue that it is not cheating, that it is okay overall, and you also have people like looking at it from the morals perspective. I personally think since it is automating your inputs, then it is the third-party program that is doing something in the perfect, repetitive way, therefore it's just cheating, yeah? Point being, my point here is I am not going to accuse someone that they are cheating without proof. Some people are just very good. Chainsaw is, by the way, something that people love to practice, like especially these gamers that are very good at swaps. They love to practice it because this input is so strict. Alright, so here is, I think, 5 item swap, yeah? And I spent my sweet time practicing that bullshit for the sake of to not only just do it once, but to be consistent on it. And I wouldn't be happy. I really wouldn't be happy. The first thing I hear from someone is that, oh, there is no way you did it manually, you definitely cheated. Who would fucking like do that manually? Because I do these things myself. I also like at some point was super consistent with the chainsaws. I was able to do like 10 chainsaws in the row, one after another on the mid-roll consistently without fail. I knew my timings very, very well. I spent shit tons of time practicing it, mastering the timing, and don't like because of it to look at the other players with assumption that they are cheating. That being said, if Alter in that clip is using the macros, then yes, I look at him as he just used the cheats in that fight, and therefore I absolutely think that it is not okay. Like, I mean, like glitching overall, it's not in my rulebook as something that is okay, but it's even more not okay.
Really think these orc abortions would risk their egos by attempting the glitch manually? Come on, man. I know you're not this naive.
Maybe and honestly, I can understand why people see this and they actually agree that, hey, that was utterly maidenless. But realistically speaking, what's supposed to be a talk about in case of this particular clip is that people with connections like this are not supposed to be able to fight with each other in the first place.
As for the connections between the players, should they be matched together? Probably not. Are they matched together though? Well, of course they are. Sadly, the game works like this and does not possess a ping filter, and we need to accept that. It is not going to be patched because latency is distance related, and there's nothing to be done about it. That's just how physics work, you know?
But there is. You're restricting the ability to connect to each other through the region locks. They actually did something similar in Armored Core 6. So we are going to end up with something like that in another Elden Ring, or maybe even in the oncoming DLC and so on. It's probably going to be implemented. Sadly, choosing the region is kind of fucking stupid because you can literally just choose the region that you do not belong to. Wi-Fi in this particular part says that the latency is part of the game. It is what it is. Yeah, we have to roll with that. But I find this entire discussion utterly pointless because from my perspective, Laggard with the light roll got chainsawed. End of story. Some random encounter on the arena happened. One is an asshole playing on the fucking Steam Deck. Another is an asshole fucking chainsawing PVers. Whatever. Block each other. Move on. I think this is not discussion that is worth spending too much time on. What is worth talking about is a lack of the basic shit in Elden Ring. How the fuck we don't have ping filter in the game that is so latency reliant? It is something that is worth talking about, to make buzz about, and that's why I tried initially to turn this discussion around into something that is worth discussing and not freaking, you know, like talk about fucking scrap being chainsawed by freaking asshole in the arena. Like, it's just so incredibly futile topic that is so boring, and I don't really want to talk about it like at all. It doesn't make sense. Like, this discussion is just for the entertainment, because people that chainsaw going to be chainsawing. People that have no fucking clue what they are doing are going to light roll on the fucking Steam Deck. It's going to be the case. What can bring the change might be buzz loud enough that reaches From Software and Bandai Namco, so they finally going to acknowledge the real fucking issues that are going to make the game less miserable.
And there's nothing to be done about it. That's just how physics work. You know what will probably be patched? The chainsaw glitch. And for those who really believe that chainsawing is the only way to deal with latency, what are you gonna do when it finally gets patched, huh?
So, I just want to point that out. Chainsaw is not a counter to latency. Latency is counter to chainsaw. It's the other way around. I'm actually gonna show you that clip again because it's fucking hilarious. Observe the fucking masterpiece.
Holy shit, his net is that bad.
Yeah. So I want to point yet again something that I am trying to point out for like third video right now. Chainsaw is not a good way to deal with the latency. Chainsaw is a fuck you message. You telling your opponent that fuck off, you piece of shit. I hate your net. Get the fuck out of my sight. Please block me so I don't have to look at you, because I have already more than 1,000 fucking players blocked and I cannot fucking block anyone anymore. Is it petty and stupid? It fucking is. I, for one, like never use the chainsaw against laggards because it's inefficient, but I kind of can see why people doing that. Yeah, they just want to send that message.
Your only option left will be to call Mommy to pull the plug. I don't want to see you using any other anti-latency strategies because according to you, there were none. I would love to see you play a non-broken PvP game like King of Fighters 98, for example. Good luck bitching your way out of losing in there. Or you don't play it because you can't win, so that means that you're not going to play Elden Ring anymore when the chainsaw is finally patched, right? Disgusting. Disgusting! It will always amaze me how some of the PvP players in the community love to cry and throw fits.
Okay, so actually about go play what you would do if you would be playing different game. I understand like it is more for like a meme and throwing the tantrum of, hey, you fucking asshole that cheats around with the chainsaw. That what would happen if you would actually play the game that is not fucking dog shit. But the thing is that people just want to play this game, yeah? They are not interested in the other game. They want to deal with the issues in this game in the way that they think is efficient, yeah? And that's the thing. I don't think that anyone thinks that chainsaw is efficient against laggards. Yet again, it's just petty way to say to the another person, fuck you.
It's amazed me how some of the PvP players in the community love to cry and throw fits so much instead of just, you know, playing. Believe it or not, that's also part of the loser mentality we talked about in this other video. People defend this walking turd by saying things like, he just wanted out quickly, there was latency, he got frustrated, etc, etc. But you need to understand that those are not legitimate reasons to glitch. Those are just excuses for a douche to act like one. You gonna tell me that throwing dung pots makes you exit the arena quicker? At the end of the day, yes, it's just a game. It's not the game factor that annoys me, but the human factor, justifying the use of cheats and griefing tools against gamers that don't know any better is part of what keeps the Souls PvP from growing. So make the difference, Tarnished. Adapt like a man instead of crying like a toddler.
He just started glitching, bro. Hey, let's adapt through the freaking bow glitch, dude. That. No, I don't know about that, honestly. I actually am not sure about that one. Glitch versus glitch though? Yeah, but that's the point. It's you're not making fucking world better by glitching against glitcher. If like glitching is that ultimate freaking negative thing that have to be gone. Well, we finished my overall... Well, what I wanted to say about it, I already said. I think this discussion is overly fucking pointless. It's fucking dog shit. I fucking hate it. I really dislike the fact that people are brain-dead hypocrites in the comment section under my videos. I'm not sure if that's under Waifu's video as well, but... It's definitely on Reddit, people justifying using certain glitches, whereas like bank against another, and saying that like, you know, like in this particular case, it is like, you know, even though we are talking about glitches that are way more impactful than chainsaw, they are going to hate on the chainsaw just because it deals damage. Very negative sounding because of that, because yeah, people do hate glitches that do damage, but very often put the blind eye on these that don't, even though if they impact the game way more and are way more broken. Ergo, Estus cancel in Dark Souls 3. Chainsaw has less impact than Estus cancel's IMO. I cannot tell because I wasn't playing that much of Dark Souls 3, but from what I have seen, it actually does. Like, especially, let's start with the fact that Chainsaw is super niche. When you are going to Pontiff, even today, yeah, everyone is Estus cancelling. Everyone is cancelling the recovery of the consumables. When it comes to the Chainsaw, it's very rare sight to see people chainsawing. It's just that people are not annoyed as much about Estus cancel because it doesn't do damage. This is a recurring theme among discussions if glitch is okay or not. People very often give the pass on the glitch that doesn't do damage. But when the glitch does damage, then it's considered bad. And sometimes even if glitch partially contributing to damage but not directly, then people also gonna consider it okay even though it's broken as shit. Example. Okay, so this video, yeah? The perfect block tech. Perfect blocking is fucking insane. Perfect block can literally just skip completely the base foundations of the game and straight up just finish the fight in one backstab, yeah? It's pretty much very powerful glitch that people react to it insanely positively. Oh, amazing glitch. It's looking like Sekiro Deflect, haha. Look at that, haha, Sekiro fun, yeah? It's powerful glitch. That is actually not very hard to master too. But people are going to be like, hey, haha, it's, no, it's okay because it's looking cool. But Chainsaw, oh, it one-shot me, bad. My point being, people very often just going with the personal judgment over what's okay and it's not. And I also think that, yes, Chainsaw is super fucking powerful. But there is shit tons of glitches that get in the pass or are not even talked about that much. Also, that might be a little bit far-fetched, but I have seen people saying that it's only disgusting tryhards that use freaking Chainsaw. I just want to remind everyone the good times where complete scraps were using way more powerful glitches than Chainsaw, way easier to do. Yeah. Matter of why Chainsaw is used mostly by tryhards and not casuals, because barrier of entry is way fucking higher. Helmet swaps? Yes. Shit tons of scraps were using the helmet swaps. Like, absolute amount of people. IGN glitch, shit tons of people. Chainsaw would be so absurdly popular among fucking scrubs if it wouldn't be a glitch with super high barrier of entry. The barrier of entry of the Chainsaw glitch is actually something that is so nice, because otherwise this glitch really would be the problem. But since it is so rare to see the Chainsaw due to its high barrier of entry. Thankfully, this absurdly powerful glitch is not as big of an issue as it could be. It's just so fucking pointless discussion. It's just people throwing their own morals on everything and call it a day. Ending this topic, I swear to fucking God. I really...
Stop laughing!
Stop laughing. I really hope this is essentially the last time I have to make public discussion about it, because it's really discussion about morals, and people that have very occupied opinion about the entire topic of the chainsaw or glitches overall are not going to change their opinion. And I also honestly not sure if I will change my opinion. So this is like, you know, this discussion doesn't make fucking sense. In my opinion, chainsaw, whereas very powerful and so on, it doesn't fucking matter that much that this glitch is in the game in the long run, because it is just so not popular. But if they are going to remove chainsaw, I won't fucking care at all. I just couldn't care fucking less. It was funny meme for a while. Remove it or not, I don't care.
Hello, gamer. Memory's broken. Room goes unspoken.